If God is unchanging, why do his laws change? Why does the Old Testament allow things the New Testament clearly rejects? Why do some commands disappear while others remain? And if God really is good, why didn't he just give the final rules from the beginning? This question unsettles people more than they admit, and it deserves a serious answer. At first glance, it does look like a contradiction. One part of the Bible regulates slavery, another plants the seeds for its abolition. One part allows polygamy, another insists on one flesh and one union. One part permits retaliation, another says turn the other cheek. So what's going on here? Did God change his mind or lower his standards or contradict himself? Here's the key distinction most people miss. God's character doesn't change, but God's instructions unfold within history. The Bible doesn't present God as dropping a fully formed moral system into a vacuum. It presents him entering a broken world and working within it, not by erasing human culture overnight, but by slowly reshaping it. Think of it this way. God meets humanity where it is, not where it should already be. In the ancient world, slavery existed everywhere. Violence was normal. Women had little protection. Power meant domination instead of instantly abolishing every broken structure. God begins limiting harm, introducing restraint, and planting moral seeds that would later grow. The laws weren't the finish line. They were guardrails. This is why Jesus doesn't say, God was wrong back then. He says, you have heard it said, but I say to you. He doesn't contradict the law. He completes its direction. The trajectory always pointed towards restoration instead of control, love instead of fear, transformation instead of regulation. The laws changed because humanity changed, not because God did. But here's the uncomfortable part. God's method is slow. Pain still happens along the way. People still misuse freedom. And history still bears scars. And that raises a harder question. Why didn't God just override human will entirely? The Bible's answer isn't that God is indifferent. It's that coercion can't produce love. And God's goal was never mere compliance. It was relationship. So when people say God's laws changed, therefore God isn't real, they're often assuming something the Bible never claims, that moral transformation happens instantly. The story Scripture tells is slower, more frustrating, and far more human. God doesn't force history forward. He redeems it from within. That doesn't answer every question, but it does explain why the tension exists. If this question has ever bothered you, you're not alone. And if you're still wrestling with it, that doesn't mean you lack faith. Sometimes it means you're finally asking the right questions.